Good morning. It is morning. I'm finishing my morning coffee. This is Random Crafty Acts. My name is Barb, and this is the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. I'm going through it one day at a time, and let's get started and open it up. I'm keeping track of what happens each day, what we find, and this is day 15. Okay, and you hear me sliding around because my workspace here is kind of in a circle, and sometimes things aren't on the front table. Okay, I take a picture for my diary that I'm keeping. What we found with the calendar is that the little spots are, oh, this is one of the ones we've been waiting for. Okay, so on the back side of each door, there's a picture of what's in there. I cut this out because it goes in my record keeping. You can see that because the others are empty. All right, then you tear this piece out and look at the die. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, and as is our practice, we want to grab just a piece of white scrap and I have a Sizzix Big Shot fold away. And then let's open this up. I keep all of these. It is November 29th, I think. Not that that matters. Yeah, November 29th. I'm in Southern Illinois. We are expecting our first snow. There's a big snowstorm moving across, and it has not started snowing here yet. Okay, just a few pieces. Let's look at the picture. All right, this looks like the outside of the bowl. Okay. This looks like the water, the images of the water. And this is obviously the little fishy. Okay. The bubble dots are built into here, which means that when it comes to color, we're going to want something in behind there that we can, that maybe we can make blue. For the purposes of this, we can, for the purposes of this, we'll probably do that with a blending brush. All right, so I have those set up. I'm just going to lay my plastic plate. I have the standard platform with a shim and a magic mat. I do not die cut without a magic mat. That's because I used to, and I spent a lot of energy, also known as money. Okay, so these pieces are individual. These are just little plastic tops that I took off of the boxes that I borrowed out of my husband's workshop. Okay, and then we have the fish. All right. I keep track of my dies as I go. Yesterday, I actually had one of those moments where the die, I set this piece aside and the die was still in the white stuff and I wasn't paying attention. I was kind of in a hurry, and then I found myself hunting for that die. All right, I keep all these little pieces like this because you just never know. Okay, there's the fishtail. The fishtail has some embossing on it that will give us the some texture. Same thing with the fish, has the embossing on it. Okay, let's see what we can figure out about exactly how this bowl goes together. You can buy pokey tools to take things out. I just use straight pins. I had a bunch of those. Okay, I hang on to these. We're going to set this aside because we may cut another piece. I'm going to set this out of the way. Get out a working mat. I get these at my local Dollar Tree for $1.25. I'm going to grab some blue. Got the brown and the black, just to add some color in so that take just a second here. These are my Ranger archival ink. I don't want, yeah, there's the light blue. This one's called Forget Me Not. Goldfish are shades of yellow and orange, I think. So we'll see about that. And we'll grab an orange blending brush. All right, I think we're set. Here's the glue. Okay, so we've got the outside image of the bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and put some black on that, just so that we've got an outline. Okay. So we know that this piece well, that's interesting. It's too bad that you're not on live with me here and you could say, Barbara, you put the picture there. It's right there in front of you. Okay, so this could go here. All right. This can go in behind here. That fills in that space. And that can go back up here. And then this can go here. So this will look like, I guess that looks like the bottom of the bowl. Let's just go ahead and put some black on it. Okay. I'm assuming we want the water in here to be blue. Okay. We'll make this blue. We don't need to worry about, well, the bubbles will show through. This can be open. This could actually be open because you're not gonna fill the whole fishbowl up, right? We had fish. It was a long time ago. Okay, I'll grab my reversible tweezers. I'm at the beginning of my crafting day, so I don't want to get ink too much over my fingers. It's been a good Advent series here with this. I counted it up. I mean, I have one set of stamps, maybe two, one or two sets of stamps, one set of stencils, one set of gems, and 2 embossing folders. And out of 15, everything else is dies. Now they're little dies. Okay. And let's put this at the bottom so it gives that sense of texture. But that's kind of the bottom of the bowl. Okay. So if you have this on a color, have I got some piece of, let's grab something out of my scrap bin here. So if you had this, all right, it would look like the bowl setting on a shelf. So you could build a scene with this setting on a shelf. Okay. That does give you some texture. So you would definitely want something behind this to make it look like dots. And then we'll figure out what to do about that piece. All right, let's deal with our little fishy. I don't know what that is. Okay. Ooh, this one's really moist. It didn't take much work. I think it turns this way so that you get, oh yeah, so you get some texture here. Okay, I think I know what that piece is. They give us tiny little pieces to put when you've got the open eyeball. They give us tiny little pieces to put in behind there. And that's what this would be. And you can make that black so that he's got a little black eyeball. And one of the things to watch for is there's usually like an indentation of sorts in the dies that will give you like a hint as to where a piece might go. Okay? And if you've got just a snip sticking out there, because he wasn't quite back as far as he needed to go. Not isn't he cute? Okay. And so he fits in the bowl here. And we're going to put this on here just because we can. Maybe we can. All right. All right. And then if I had another small piece of white. I have organized my scraps. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to cut the bowl out. And then I'm just going to darken that a little bit. That is the heat running, the sound of the heater running behind us. Okay. And I think there's a certain assumption here that you would be building this like on a card base or on something. All right, and there's your embellishment. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay, day 15. All right, let's go ahead and, well, let me go ahead and take my picture for my record. All right, and I'm kind of trying to think of what I would do with this. I think it would be nice to maybe on a card base as a hello card is what I'm kind of thinking that it might be nice to do. Okay, this is the point where I pause the video and get those things together. Okay, I've been doing happy birthday cards. I donate all my cards to Cards for Kindness, and that's something that's up on their site right now. I'm going to do the little fish out of the white so that I can color him orange. I really like the way that turned out. I'm going to do these pieces in blue because that's going to go around the outside edge, and let me show you why I'm doing it this way. Okay, I only have one piece of this at the moment without cutting a whole nother sheet. Okay, I do my embellishing when I'm doing a card on a 3 3¾ by 5. And I'm going to show you a previous card just so you can see. This is from day 14. Notice you've got your card base, which is an A2 card, and then this layer right here is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so I call this my embellishment layer, and then I build the layers behind it. Now, what I'm doing here is I need these pieces to go on here, and so I can cut them out of this, and then when I embellish and lay this on the top here, you won't see that I cut anything out of there. And I'm going to pause this here so I can tape some things down. We're going to keep popping in and out here while I'm working. You pull your low tack tape off at an angle to keep it from messing up your layer underneath, which is not an issue on this. Remember to keep track of your dies. And all your little pieces. Okay. And this comes off. I've been using that Happy Birthday die quite a bit. Again, because I'm making, out of my advent calendar, I'm making a set of cards that will get donated. I already had all of my holiday cards finished. Looks like I'm going to have to do just a teeny bit of work right there with my craft knife. Get these off. When I explained to my husband, whose workshop is like right over there, but I thought I needed a craft knife, I had to kind of like go through a kind of a training session. He was really concerned that I would hurt myself with a craft knife, and I'm like, can I not just have like a really simple one? Okay, here's a point. I always try to teach when I can in doing this. You would think that you could just take this and pull that off, okay? And what I will tell you is that maybe you could. I mean, maybe I could have just pulled that and would have come right off, all right? Or maybe it would have torn the side of the A. And in this particular situation, that would have been a problem because remember I said I only had one piece of that blue. Okay, so the Happy Birthday is going to go up here. Now I'm going to remake one of these. This is going to go down here. And that still makes that background pretty plain. So we need to emboss it. We need to either emboss it or we need to ink blend the back of it. So I'm thinking embossing. Okay, this is embossed. I just used a, I don't know where I got this embossing folder. Had it for a long time. Okay, I'm going to blend this with some yellow after I have had that. And one of the things to look at with ink blending when you're doing this is start off the edge and work on. And there's a reason for this, all right? The reason for this is if you just hit it here, and you're working with blending brushes, you're gonna get an oval. Now, that may not matter, all right? But I don't really want that in the middle of my card. I could have embossed on a piece of color cardstock. I didn't have any. I'm still really working hard at using up my scraps and what we all call our stash. I retired in 2020 and my first hobby was buying craft supplies. So I have so much stuff. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and darken that little piece. I could also, once I get this on wherever it ends up, I could go in with a little black marker, like a really fine tip marker. Okay, let's put this together and see how this looks. All right, this is the bottom. Okay. The bowl needs to be a different color. See how I was able to peel that right off? That's because it's liquid glue. I'll be right back. Okay, remember how I cut out of the blue layer? Okay, I'm getting ready to do the same thing with the black layer that'll go in the back. And then when you put all this, no one will ever know. Okay, let's try this again. Now the outline edge of the bowl is black. So I'm going to put just the fine layer here. I work with Bearly Arts glue. I work almost exclusively with liquid glue. I have tried the other things. I've tried the the tape guns and all of that, and none of that really worked for me. Okay, now we're playing with the dimensional aspect of this. The fish is going to go in here. Let's go ahead and put that piece on before we lose it. And as tempting as it is to like pause while I finish this, I think it might be helpful to some of you to watch the process of working through the planning here. So at least when I was learning how to, I learned everything I know how to do. I learned from watching YouTube videos, guys. I didn't. Did you see me do that wrong? I put the white down, which would have been a disaster. And again, that's why I use liquid glue. If I was using any kind of tape or anything, it would have been too late. Okay. So I can see where it would help to have done something in this water so that it looked more like let me grab some darker blue. So it had wavies in it. I mean, I could even still run it through an embosser, but I don't think I have anything that would do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put some darker blue kind of around on this again, because I didn't have multiple colors of blue to use. Can you see the shade difference there? That's going to be nice. Okay, where do I want my glue? I want my glue here and a little bit here. Now, for the most part, the liquid glue that I use dries clear. I have noticed that it will leave a little bit of a sheen. On it will leave a little bit of a sheen sometimes. Okay, so let's put the there it is. See how it's still stuck in there? That's how you lose something. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put black here since I cut a second black one out. Okay, that means if we drop the black in here, it kind of looks like the back of the fishbowl, right? All right, I think we're about ready to finish this one up. Let's set the bowl at a little bit of an angle just to give us some texture. I keep glancing outside to see if the snow has started here, and it hasn't. All my friends who are just a little bit up north are sending me messages that we have 4 inches, and it's like, we have nothing. I hope it stays that way. Okay. I'm watching the time. We're up to 32 minutes. My research has shown that for the most part, if you are still watching here at the end of this video, you are maybe among a few, because research is showing that we don't watch the whole video anymore. We have become a scrolling people who okay, that sounds like rain and wind. We were told that it would be heavy wind. Okay. Anytime I'm dealing with embossing, I go really heavy with the glue. It's just has been my experience that ends up making a difference. I used the blue on the layer, and that's why I used the blue for the lettering. So I used the blue layer, and then I used the blue lettering to kind of pull some of the colors together. Okay. The outside layer there is 4 1/8, 5 3/8 to go on the front of an A2 size card, which is what I have right here. You can use grids to get things lined up. I have been doing this enough that most of the time it works, and since I'm bragging about that, this will be the time where I'll try to put this on and it'll be a totally epic fail, and I'll have to pull it off 4 or 5 times, which again is the reason that I use liquid glue. All right, I can already see that my blue layer is a little bit to the right here. I don't think I think everybody's going to see the fish and go, oh my gosh, isn't that cute? And they're not going to worry the least little bit about the fact that that's awful. But if I had been watching, I would have fixed that. Okay. All right. And then on the back of my card, I stamp with the stamp that my granddaughter designed and gifted to me. It says Random Acts of Kindness Studio. I do not sell my work. My work goes to Cards for Kindness. All right, there we go. And a quick picture that you get to be a part of. All right. Thank you for watching. Check the playlist. I've been doing this for the last 15 days. So there's a whole series of videos, and I will do this until we're done. Thank you.